On today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast, it's NFL Week 5. The Ravens are dead. The Eagles finally lost. The Giants are the Giants again. A bunch to react to. The Titans finally won. Got some baseball talk and some UFC talk mixed in as well. Very fun show. See you guys soon.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
Welcome in to today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast. Today is October 7th, 2025. And the glory days are officially over. It's time for the Giants to bring out the wrecking ball and restart this franchise from the badlands they have brought upon themselves. But before Matt, your Eagles lost a game.
They did lose a game, Brian. They did lose a game. And I think the Eagle haters are more jacked up than the actual fans. And I know the super fans are, overreacting per usual. But I've been a big proponent of not going into any type of playoffs undefeated. And I think in my preview, I said they'll lose a couple games. Didn't necessarily think they'd lose this one, but after you let the emotions go, you take a step back and you look at it. It's against an AFC team, so it doesn't hurt you, I guess, in the NFC race. They've already beaten the Rams, so that's a team they're going to have to go up against. The Rams lost on Thursday, so that also helps their boat for playoff seeding at the end of the year. But I think it's a good reset spot to help propel them forward and dig deep. And look, they're still a really good football team, 4-1. I still have them at the top of the NFC. And, Jalen Hurts threw a shit ton of passes yesterday. The completion percentage wasn't necessarily great. I think 23 for 38, which Hurts throwing the ball 38 times is nuts. He did connect on a couple nice throws, I thought. He had some bad throws. Saquon Barkley not getting involved enough. I know he had a nice touchdown to catch, but thought they could have leaned on him in the run game a little bit more. But level of concern, I guess, is the way you worded it. And I'm not necessarily concerned. I'm not panicked. It's still a really good football team. I have them still at the top of the NFC East. For the most part, everybody's relatively healthy. And look, they were up 17-3 in the fourth quarter. The Broncos were 1-112 when losing by 14-plus points in a fourth quarter. So one of those weird games that they let get away, especially at home. And it is what it is. I didn't want to go into the playoffs undefeated. Didn't think they would go in. And if there's a game to lose, I guess it was this one. So not panicked. I think Nick Sirianni, if there's any coach in the NFL to get a team kind of re-locked in, re-fired up, and, ready to play good football again, it's him. And, we'll see what they do with the offensive coordinator and Kevin Patullo. I know there's still some concerns there. So not trying to rant too much. I know you want the raw reaction from Philly here, but is what it is. There's no more undefeated teams. We saw the Bills lose at home last night too. So everybody loses. It's any given Sunday.
Yeah, I think I appreciate how level-headed you are, and it's easy to be level-headed when you're coming off a Super Bowl.
Yes.
But speaking of the Bills, just real quick, our friend of the program, Tommy, who I go to watch games with every Sunday, we were talking last week about the Eagles' schedule, and we're like, oh, maybe they go undefeated. And then we looked at the Bills' schedule, and we're like, maybe that Week 16 is a battle of the undefeated team. So when the Eagles lost on Sunday, I texted him and was like, put the house on the Patriots because we jinxed both of them last weekend. And it turns out we were right. But the one spin zone I think you can take from this game is A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, who kind of got into it towards the end of the week, saying, like, we have to throw the ball more. And like you said, Jalen Hurts did throw the ball more. And it turns out that might not be the best strategy. So now they could kind of understand that a little more.
Yeah, it wasn't the best strategy. And they were up 17-3. Smith over 100 yards receiving and 5 catches for A.J. Brown, only 43 yards. So the stat sheet wasn't there, but he was involved, and they were, going after him. It wasn't like it was a run heavy and they ignored. Like, people were active in the passing game. Dallas Goedert got another touchdown to open off the game. So, like, they're doing it. It's just, I don't know who needs to get on the same page. Is it the offensive coordinator with the quarterback? Is it the quarterback with the wide receivers? This is the 4th year this team is together. There shouldn't be any chemistry issues. So my biggest thing that I look at is the offensive coordinator. And because that's the first year he's in there calling the plays. They lost Kellen Moore. Nick Sirianni's still there, but whether we can argue about Hurts, he's an elite option at quarterback. The wide receivers are elite. The offensive line's elite. You have Saquon Barkley. Regardless of who's calling the plays, and I can't imagine Kevin Patullo is that much of a moron to not be able to somewhat get these guys open and do something, but they've been together for 4 years. I mean, the offense should hum a little bit better at a little bit of a higher level, coming off a blowout in the Super Bowl. Pretty much all the same pieces. I know some small, but like the core guys are still here. It's year 4. Saquon Barkley coming off an all-time year. Okay, year 2. But it should only make him better. So I don't know who to put the blame on. I lean to Kevin Patullo or whoever's calling the offense. Because Jalen Hurts, the receivers, and Barkley, like there shouldn't be this much of a step back. And not that there has been a crazy one. There's still 4-1. The offense has looked good at times, but there's been some hiccups. And look, it's the NFL. Teams adapt year to year. It's a very quick league. And it can't be perfect every year. The Chiefs made it look easy the last couple of years, and credit to them, because that's not an easy thing to do, what they have been doing. It's tough to get back to the Super Bowl, but I think the Eagles are still on a track to be able to repeat as champions. So I'm not going to sit here and press the panic button. And there's still a lot of time left to get this thing back on track, which I wouldn't even say it's that far off of the track. So, clean up the offense. The defense is fine, and they'll be okay. I'm not panicking. A good get-right spot on the road in MetLife. No injuries, please.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with just about everything you said and even emphasize it's the coaching. I mean, through 4 weeks, everyone's saying this Eagles offense, Jalen Hurts isn't throwing the ball enough. They're not using these star receivers. It's only Saquon, and it's not, it's not sexy enough. It's not pretty enough. No flashy plays. I mean, me included. But, I was calling for more passes, but this didn't really seem like the time to do it against the reigning defensive player of the year at cornerback and the Broncos defense. That's when you decide and as you said, a 17-3 lead. In the second half, you're still throwing the football. Like what's that's coaching. That's not on Saquon. That's not on Jalen Hurts. Obviously you can execute plays a little bit better, but just the idea behind the play calls, I didn't understand it. And then on the other side, you got Sean Payton, who's coaching, quite honestly, one of the best games he ever coached, at least that second half. A lot of awesome play designs, just getting his team back in the game.
They were throwing to Troy Franklin with the game on the line. It's getting creative.
As much as I like to hate on Sean Payton, I was definitely impressed yesterday.
He kept the team in it, right? They didn't go to halftime and lay over and play dead, which, traveling East Coast, 1:00 game, Denver. They very well could. I think they go to international next week. They very well could have just said, hey, pack your bags. We'll get through the second half. It's the Eagles. Who cares if we lose? And we'll go and try and get a win in London or wherever they're playing.
It's a scheduled win. They're playing the Jets.
Okay, exactly. So they're like, hey, this is a road trip. Then we go into the bye. If we go in 1-1 in our loss against the Eagles, they would take that. Now they're looking at going 2-0. So credit to Peyton. I think maybe they're, Vic Fangio was the head coach in Denver as well. So there was a little bit of juice there. Some interesting stories into this game. But again, I said it too many times not to ramble on and rant, but that I'm not panicking. I'm not pressing the panic button. It's not like they got shut out. The offense is just stalling and looks a little out of sorts at times because they can't get in that rhythm because they've all been together, but they're this is the third or fourth different offensive coordinator in the last 4 years. You expect things to not look as good. And Kellen Moore in the offense last year, at the beginning of the year, we're so used to what we saw at the end of the year. At the beginning of the year, they were 2-2, had that horrible home loss to the Falcons after you guys claim the Falcons
second
as the
best team in the conference.
kings of the NFC. Yeah, we remember that. So it's not as different as it was last year. I mean, this team's 4-1. Last year they were 2-2. So a lot of time to right the ship. That's quite frankly not even sinking.
Yeah, also, Evan Ingram can suck my third leg. Now you want to score touchdowns at the link? Now? But a team that you may be panicking about, a must-win tonight, and we're going to let you go soon so you can –
Not a problem. No. I'll chat some ball.
All right. Well, your Phillies. I want to get a quick update. How are we feeling?
I mean, look, we can talk about game one. I know we'll have the result of game two and everybody's watching this. Game one, you're up 3-0. Sanchez throws a gem. Shohei Ohtani is shut down. The crowd's rocking. Look, it's become a trend with this team, unfortunately, the last 3 or 4 years. The big-time players don't show up, and I circle Bryce Harper. He's the first on that list. After that 2022 run, he's turned into an absolute sieve in the playoffs. I don't even know what to call him, but it's been really bad. So you look at a guy, Trey Turner too is a guy you can question. But they just the big time contract players. Castellanos, don't even get me started with him. He can't even buy a start. It's a joke, man. And then you're up 3-0, and then you got to go to the bullpen because Sanchez gets a little tagged up, which I won't fault him, man. He had to pitch a lot. You go to 40-year-old David Robertson, like Matt Strahm, like it's just a joke, man. It's a circus bullpen. Like you throw in Yohan Duran on the front. It's like that meme of like the dude like with the clown face in the background,
With
but
the
like
military guys.
Yeah, but he's all good and whatever it is, where it's like it looks like Yohan Duran's the big shiny piece on the front, but behind it's a circus. And like I said, it's a joke, man. I don't know where they can go. They're so far deep with contracts. There is a farm system, but there isn't. Zach Wheeler going down didn't help. But can you Sanchez threw a gem. Sanchez did what Wheeler probably would have done anyway. Maybe you even pitched better in game one than Wheeler would have given you. I mean, it's 3-0 going into the 7th or 8th inning. What more can you ask? You can't say, oh, well, if we had Wheeler, it's a joke, man. Like, I don't care what Matt Strahm's stats are in the regular season. I really don't freaking care. Like, are you serious with that guy in a high leverage playoff spot against the defending champions? Of course something bad's going to happen. And you saw it there on Saturday night. So I think that solo game right there is what's the word I'm looking for here? The grand picture of what we've seen the last 3 years. Yes, that game is exactly what we've been seeing, and it's why people didn't get on the bandwagon this year because they did look so good and they had the favorite, and Schwarber's playing like an MVP, and here we go, and it's like, well, it's 162 games for what? To get to the playoffs and be frauds? That's what we're seeing, and I don't know what the change is. Do you blow it up? Do you fire Philly Rob? How do you move on from some of these contracts? Schwarber walk and just say, hey, we're not going to use you, who was probably the only bright spot of the year. I know they had other bright spots, but you know what I mean. I don't know. And I could be saying all this and they win tonight, and then it's back to, hey, we steal a game in LA and the boys are back. But it's going to be tough against the Dodgers, especially when you put yourself in a hole and lose home field advantage. Again, I know a lot there, but
home field advantage may not be as pivotal as I know they bring it in Red October, and by they I mean the Phillies fans, but this team lately at the bank has not been very good.
No, I mean they had the best record in the National League at home this year, but their last 5 playoff games, they're 1-4 at home. So ever since Craig Kimbrell cursed them in Arizona, this team has not been able to play playoff baseball. And that's what it is. They were up 2-0 in the NLCS. They went to Arizona, and it literally for 2 years hasn't been the same. Like, dude, Snell's going to throw a gem tonight. Luzardo's going to have a blow-up inning. He's the lefty Aaron Nola. Get the 4th inning, Teoscar will hit a home run. It'll be 4-0, and they'll lose tonight. And the bats go ice cold. Ice cold. Harper tries to then do too much. They panic. They go ice cold, and they panic. And then you It's just what this team is, and 160. Okay, the Mets are out of the playoffs. Well, the Phillies are fucking 1 foot out the door too. So who really cares if you won the division? It doesn't matter. Like, it's World Series or bust. In my eyes, it's sure. Is the draw really bad because you had to play the Dodgers? Yeah, but it's the playoffs, man. You're gonna fucking have to play them eventually. Might as well get them out of the way early.
Yeah, we were talking about the NL East like it was going to be the NL Beast at the beginning of the season, and the Braves flame out. The Mets don't make the playoffs, and the Phillies might be first round exits.
Phillies are 1 foot out the door, so it's a joke, man. I don't know. It's we have the Eagles who won the Super Bowl, thank God, or we'd be really in a turmoil spot, but. That's all I got. Hopefully, by the grace of God, they win. If they can somehow get out of the series, I think the mood will switch. But it's really hard for me to see them getting past LA. Even if they win a game, even if they miraculously win 2 games, I don't see them winning 3. It's going to be really tough. Our pitching gets a lot weaker, and theirs doesn't fall off as tremendously as ours does, and I think that's going to be the difference.
Yeah, I think it was hilarious how everyone's panicking about the Dodgers bullpen. And then game 1, they bring out Tyler Glasnow and Roki Sasaki 101 to close out the game.
Yeah, maybe Roki Sasaki isn't a starter, and he's just going to be the most expensive bullpen piece in the history of MLB baseball because he looked electric. And maybe you start him during the regular season, and he's just a bullpen piece in the playoffs. I don't know, but
honestly surprised we don't see more teams do that.
Yeah, they have. They
saw Bumgarner do it for that whole dynasty the Giants had, and
right.
Not many teams do it anymore.
No, but it's
Wainwright did it.
Clearly, can work for the Phillies. Like tried to do it with Wheeler in the World Series.
I guess Ranger Suarez kind of.
Ranger started as a bullpen guy, so but I mean,
it's not the same.
It's like he was always used to it. Like, Glasnow was always a starter, and he came into the playoff game as a bullpen piece. Like Sasaki, I think, has always been a starter, comes in as the bullpen piece. But look, it's again, that was I know it was level-headed for the Eagles, and then that was a lot of like blow up for a team that just won the division. But it's a buildup of the last 3 to 4 years, and it's
that's fair.
They're never going to win. It just feels like they're not like 2022, 2023 was the year. And I don't know how, like, there's teams like stuck in it's like they're like they hit huge on the slot machine in 22 and 23 and they lost it all. And now they're just panicking and chasing to get it all back. And that's why you see tense baseball because they're the other teams are playing loose, man. And for like the Phillies know that their window is closing and they know that it's their time to win. And they know that they like have been a disappointment in the playoffs like that. That's real pressure, man. I mean, yeah, sure. They're great athletes, but they're not any different than any of us that are humans and feel these emotions of pressure, panic, anxiety, like all that stuff's real. And it's heightened in a city like Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's really hard to win a World Series, which is why I hate that the Nationals somehow did it in 2019.
So stupid. So stupid.
Shout out Juan Soto.
But you're right. It is extremely difficult.
I was thinking about this because not the Eagles, the city of Philadelphia and their sports fans had a rough weekend, but so did New York. Which city had it worse? Because, I mean, you had the Phillies, you had Eagles, and then all the Penn State fans. New York, you have the Giants, the Yankees, the Jets, and then Josh Hart gets hurt in Abu Dhabi in the preseason.
Bro, New York hasn't won shit in a decade. I think it's them.
Yeah, well,
specifically these last couple of days, I'm talking.
New York, I mean, the Yankees are, that they like. I didn't expect. Like that's the thing. Did anybody have real expectations for the Yankees? Like, be honest. Like
this year,
I might have predicted them. Like, 09 rematch just because it sounded cool. But I didn't have any real expectations for it. Like the pitching's hard. The 23-year-old had 12 strikeouts in an elimination game. Like, is that going to last through the entirety of a postseason? Absolutely not. Aaron Judge has been the ice cold. He's been the Bryce Harper of the American League and going ice cold in the postseason. And he's supposed to be Mr. MVP, which again, regular season hero.
He has
not
the
in the
funniest
playoffs.
444 playoff average of all time because it's all been like non-high leverage singles, and he's hitting 444.
Yeah, I didn't realize, but
for what?
That's just a nice statistic for Yankee fans to continue to defend him. That's all that is.
And I think they even realize it's not real because he's hitting singles and hustle doubles when they're down.
It was Juan Soto and Giancarlo Stanton carried them to the World Series last year. He didn't do jack dick.
Yeah, the one thing, I think it's Catch Me If You Can, the movie, with this quote, but it's why can no one beat the Yankees because they're always staring at the pinstripes. That's why you kind of had faith in them this year because it's like the Mariners, the Blue Jays, and the Tigers are there. Like the Yankees are the Yankees. They should get far. Maybe that's no longer a thing.
No, the Blue Jays are looking like the team to beat in the American League. And I don't know if that's saying much because, I really didn't have high expectations for the Yanks in this postseason. This is a team that we thought potentially could miss the playoffs. Maybe didn't think they would, but like they had a really, really big struggle in the middle of the year, which was, I think, a glaring kind of eye opener of like, holy shit, like the Yankees really aren't that good. No bullpen, pitching depth lacks. Max Fried gets blown up in a game 2. Now where do you go? Back home down 2-0. I mean, they're but again, the expectations will be high because they're New York. I don't think the expectations for anybody else are looking at the Yankees like, wow, like they're the team to beat. They're 23-year-old rookie pitcher that threw 112 pitches and struck out 12 and did a walk a guy through 8 innings, shut down the Red Sox. He's gonna carry them. And here's Max Fried and like Luke Weaver. Give me a break. He's a right-handed Matt Strahm. Joke. Who else do they have? I don't even know who else they have in the bullpen.
Just taking out your Philly anger on the Yankees.
All the guys they traded for that have been okay.
David Bednar has been a bright spot, I guess, but the Yankees are also disappointing. In New York, they're looking forward to the next season. Which Josh Hart got hurt. Which it'd be worse if it was Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, and I think Hart might be fine. I guess you could add Mark Sanchez getting stabbed to that list
and then somehow getting like a felony domestic battery something or whatever assault charge. That was a wild headline. Not on my bingo card for weekend headlines.
Wild.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be calling a game anytime soon. But let's get back to football. We can talk about
please. Yes.
All right. Well, speaking of New York torture, I was excited for my Giants. You heard it in the open. It's just time to get rid of Dable, get rid of everybody, even Darius Slayton, my guy, War Eagle. Looked terrible on Sunday. Cam Scatterbo was fumbling the football. Jackson Dart was fumbling the football. It was ugly. It was real ugly. It's very rare I get excited enough for the Giants to put them on the monitor, the small TV. I normally have them on my phone so I could look away as much as possible. I got excited just for that dud and no let it happen.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I had so much faith that they were going to turn the ship around. I like Dable. I know you don't anymore, but I like Dable, and I thought that he was going to turn the ship around with Jackson Dart. But if you can't go down to New Orleans and beat them, like this Saints team, yeah, you're not any good. I'm with you. Fire Dable, blow it all up. Joe Schmo, go take a walk. It's tough, man. But I will say, shout out Cam Scatterbo. I saw him tweet after the game, like, that he was sorry for fumbling and that he's going to do better. Like, is that where we are with social media and like athletes now? We're just talking to our fans on Twitter.
I think he did something like that at Arizona State when they lost the big game. And he was like, hey, I got you next time. I mean, good on him. It's nice to see he has some kindness left in his brain. I'm sure he can't really hold much emotion in there anymore.
Some Tim Tebow shit. He's like, you will never see anybody work harder than me. Dude, it's all good. Everybody fumbles. It's okay.
Yeah, that fumble, there were a lot of other reasons they lost. They had that game not won, but they were in control for the first like quarter and a half. And then it just all went to absolute shit.
Yeah, I mean, I was the only one who had this in our confidence picks. I saw this from a mile away. I think playing in New Orleans is a tough place to play. The Giants are not one game with the rookie quarterback and the star wide receiver going down is not enough for me to solidify them as a team that can go on the road and win a game in a tough environment. I know the Saints are bad, but like they weren't this past weekend. They still had pieces down there. What was that Spencer Rattler's first win? Of course, it came against the Giants, and yeah, I
That's
like
a tough
it.
one.
Was
That's
was
gonna be tough.
was not surprised to see this happen. I thought the emotion, Dart doing the dance and saying "Let's effing go" and Scattaboo, and then just Dable hugging them and fired up, and the delusional Giant fans trying to say, maybe this team goes on a win streak, and then they're already looking ahead and they're marking New Orleans off as a win, and they're looking ahead like, dude, it's just you see it from a mile away that they were going to lose this game, and that's why I predicted it in the confidence picks. And I didn't expect I thought a closer game. I thought maybe a 20-17 Saints win on the last second field goal, but 2 possessions. Yeah, you got to fire everybody.
It was close too, and then they completely imploded. The one bright spot, though, one bright spot is we may have finally seen the Theo Johnson breakout.
Yeah, your boy, 2 touchdown catches. How about it?
Yeah, I tweeted at Dr. Roto, as a host on XM Radio. He's like one of the only people that agreed with me about the Theo Johnson breakout. So if that keeps going, I might have to get him on just to talk Theo Johnson for a little bit. But it might be the only thing I'm looking forward to here.
It's like the quote from The Big Short with Dr. Berry. He's like, I may have been early, but I'm not wrong. That's Brian after hyping up Theo Johnson for the last 3 years.
He's just got to keep it up, please. No Malik Neighbors, like maybe this is it.
Yeah, and honestly, like this day for Darius Slayton was gonna come. I mean, his time as a rental outside wide receiver for the Giants, him putting up a big game here and there, just out of nowhere.
He's had over 700 yards every year of his career. He's been solid.
It's insane because he barely even plays football. Like he's barely out there. He's barely running route. They're drafting first round wide receivers. Like it's crazy, and he's still putting up numbers year in and year out. That's all I'm saying, though. I think this is the year that he's finally he doesn't have that step left. He doesn't have any gas left in the tank.
It was sad because Dart underthrew him on a flea flicker that, like, yeah, if he throws it ahead, it's a touchdown, but Slayton should have come down with the ball. The DB was turned around, kind of hit him in the hands, and then he had a fumble later in the game, and he had an injury, but I think that injury was more just like he's fucked up so many times, and he like tweaked his hamstring a little bit, and Dable's like, all right, just take a seat for the rest of the game. It was tough to see.
And maybe he just had a bad day. But look, he doesn't get his moments that often. So like when he's out there, you're expecting those 80, 100-yard games and then back down to like like 1 catch for 10 the next week, like his normal role. But I don't know, man. It might be the end of his road. We might really need Keandre Lambert-Smith to start doing something out in LA. Might be our last shot.
I mean, we'll get Cam Coleman in the NFL in a couple of years, and then Daniel Carlson too. We'll get to the Raiders, but he might be edging towards a cut candidate. It's not looking good for Auburn football anywhere.
No. But what happens to what I don't understand, not to go off track, but like how have we not seen a firing in the NFL yet? Right? Like Mike McDaniel, I know we'll talk about him in a little bit.
He's got to be close.
The Titans head coach, I guess, saved his job with that ridiculous comeback. Giants, Dable. I don't know who else could be out there. Hell, Pete Carroll getting blown out every week. You might as well just put him out of his misery. Zach Taylor's a great example.
John Harbaugh. Are you ready for that conversation?
That might be the first shocking firing we see.
Are we ready for that conversation?
Somebody that like people, are we early on that, but maybe not wrong?
I think that conversation needs to be had. Are we ready to start talking Ravens Texans or not yet?
Well, I want to go through the list of coaches that are on the hot seat. It feels like it's a lot. Because I was going to even, again, I think they had a big win, and it goes right into this, but DeMeco Ryans, they've been – to put it in a nice way, they've been stalling since, Cam or CJ Stroud's great rookie year. I mean, they
made the
feels
playoffs.
like it's just
You can't fire a coach that's made the playoffs in both years.
I know.
Won the division both years.
We rattled off like 8 quarterbacks, Brian. The list is getting smaller. There's only so many teams and coaches. But I mean, I guess that's not the greatest example, but I don't know, man. Feels like a year where a lot of coaches either should be or are on the hot seat. How Zach Taylor's turning into a Brandon Staley, in my opinion. I don't know how that guy still has a job up there. People will disagree with me on this one because I think I've said it last year and the year before. Kevin Stefanski, I don't know how he still has a job. I know you guys defend him a lot. Jack's a huge Stefanski guy.
I like Kevin Stefanski.
He loves Stefanski. But I think, they haven't done anything. Not like they've had a decent defense and they've had draft picks and they've used it to get quarterbacks. And is there a mismanagement there with Shedeur Sanders? Is he ever going to play football? Dylan Gabriel didn't look spectacular.
He's so short, dude. Short.
That's a total mismanagement in my eyes too. So I don't know what the hell is going on, but a lot of coaches seem like they either are or should be on the hot seat.
Yeah, and we are only 5 weeks into the season, but I think that's a large enough sample size where we're starting to see which teams and which coaches are sticking around for the long haul and which ones aren't. One other coach that we didn't discuss that I would also throw in that list, Gannon, down in Arizona as well, after the way that they blew that
DeMarcado clip of him yelling at him on the sideline.
Well, I wanted to talk about that. Obviously, Amari DeMarcado has that huge fumble, just such a stupid play coming fresh off of everyone in the league watching that just happened the week before. But he does it. And what happened on the sideline, and to be fair, I wasn't there. I don't know what was said, but you see a head coach walk up to the running back who just fumbled that football, like say something up in his grill, hit him in the chest like twice. He started walking away and another coach like ushered him away. But, that's how you lose a football team. Like, much less one guy or a game. Like, that's how you lose your whole team and get fired because, what happened after that? They blew that lead. They still had a 21-3 or 21-6 lead. I think 21-6 at that point.
Yeah.
And, they couldn't put the game on ice. You need a stop or two by the defense, a couple first downs. Like this was later in the game. And they just collapsed. And obviously there was some crazy stuff that happened that led to the Titans end up getting that win. But that team quit. The Cardinals quit.
Yeah, they're also just not a very good football team.
No, I mean they're not. But also a head coach does that.
Yeah, the reason why Gannon will continue, he'll be the Cardinals their ownership and GM really liked him for whatever reason. He apparently killed the interview and that was their guy. I think they offered him the biggest contract at all the camp. That was the guy they wanted. So I think he's going to survive a little bit longer because of that. I think there's a conversation to be had of him saying, well, you guys forced me into Kyler Murray and he isn't that good. And that's not my guy. So I think that could save his job a little bit. And then just, really, the roster he inherited wasn't great. I mean, Marvin Harrison, high draft capital, whatever. Kyler Murray, big contract, paid to be one of a top 10 quarterback is what he's getting paid. I think maybe top 12, whatever you want to call it, but has not been good. We're up to the standard that they're paying him to be. And the defense, they hired Gannon as a defensive guy to maybe change that defense around. And they've been terrible too. So I think there's some factors out there that'll help prolong Jonathan Gannon's leash, I guess you could call it. But, they're not doing anything. They're going nowhere fast, in a nice way to put it.
Yeah, that's a fair way to think about it. And with the way that Kyler has played, I think it's very, very questionable whether who's the first one to go. Is it Gannon or is it Kyler?
They're not going to get rid of Kyler.
I think he helps fill the seats to an extent.
Sells jerseys.
Sells jerseys. There's still the popularity dynamic that even though he may not be really that good as we kind of saw. You got to be able to beat the Titans regardless of how bad your defense is. It doesn't help DeMarcado drops the ball at the goal line, sure, but you're almost is he a 10-year vet approaching 10 years? I mean, Kyler's been in the league for a while.
2017, I think.
I mean, an 8-year vet, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you got to go and you got to beat Cam Ward, who is 0-4. First-year head coach is being called for hot seat. They have pretty much nobody on that team. I'm still convinced Cam Ward's bust would be harsh, but for me, it's very close already. But it would be harsh, so I won't say it. But that's a game you got to win if you're Kyler Murray, to keep a long story short.
I think there's also just putting it down to brass tacks. There's teams in the NFL that want to win and teams that just want to make money and are happy if they win. I don't think the Cardinals really care.
The Cardinals don't really care.
In terms of like their ownership.
Ownership and like I know every fan base has diehard fans, but like where the fan base of the Cardinals are you seeing like absolute outrage? Like Philly, you see it boil over. New York, you see it boil over. The Niners, you see it boil over. Cowboys, you see it like there's all over the country, not just the East Coast. The Bears have a fan base that can get rowdy. Packers, we've seen the Vikings. The Lions have come alive. I just don't think that diehard fan base is there for the Cardinals.
I don't know if he did it on purpose, Jack.
All right, make sure you're watching that Monday night game tonight, man. Make sure you watch how that bank gets packed out.
Are you allowed to call it the bank?
Hell yeah, I'm calling it the bank. Everyone calls it the bank.
CBP is the bank, man.
This is the bank. Pack the bank.
I mean, I guess you could call it the bank. There's two Death
What do you
Valleys,
mean
but everyone knows there's a real
one. What do you
one.
mean you guess? I'm not asking for your permission,
I didn't.
No, you're fine. You're fine, Matt. You're fine, Matt. Brian, I'm not asking for your permission. It's Everbank Stadium. We call it the bank.
It's Trevor Bank.
We're packing out the bank. Stop. Don't start with me.
If you call it Jet Life, I can call it Trevor Bank for the rest of eternity.
To be fair, I call it Jet Life.
It's Trevor Lawrence's birthday. Trevor Lawrence's 26th birthday today. Shout out, Sir Trevor.
Wow.
Cannot believe he's only 26 years old, but
don't get an injury now. Got his own insurance. No, his parents are probably on the Jaguars insurance by now.
Yeah, he's hooking his parents up with insurance.
Yeah.
The Jaguars are just they're still like a new franchise in the grand scheme of things. Like I know not new last year, but like one of the newer all NFL teams. So like it's hardcore, dedicated, diehard, crazy fan. It takes time to build these things, Jack. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Not everyone's like me.
They only have one team though, so that's really helping them out. That's like
it helps.
Well,
they're almost aging in dog years because they have just one team.
Yeah. Actually, I think I saw that the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp won a championship the other day. So shout out them.
Gotta sting a little bit though, no?
Jumbo Shrimp brought a title to Jacksonville before the Jaguars.
The Jumbo Shrimp were able to win a minor league baseball championship before.
Hey, NFL's king, man. NFL's tough. It's a tough league. Tough. We've had our opportunities, not really, but Miles Jack still wasn't down.
AFC Championship game to go up against the Eagles. That was their best shot, and probably should have won that game in Foxborough.
Miles Jack wasn't down.
That was a tricky game.
One of the best NFL graphics of all time came out of that playoffs with Case Keenum, Tom Brady, Nick Foles, and Blake Bortles.
Those were the last four remaining quarterbacks. What a year.
But speaking of the Jaguars.
3 trash cans in the boat.
Speaking of the Jags, let's get back on topic here. We had a London game again. Dylan Gabriel looks very short. Quinshon Judkins looks very good.
Judkins looks great. Gabriel sucks. Like, What, like, dude? I know you you guys are defending Stefanski, but like, that's another game they blew.
Yeah, no,
They should have won that game.
Yeah,
they should have won that game. They definitely
really
should have.
They
like
got help
Carson
from the
Wentz.
sky cam too.
They did. You let Wentz throw a last second, 20-second left, whatever you want to call it, to Addison or whatever the dude's name is, Jordan Addison.
Missed the walkthrough before
Missed
the game.
the walkthrough, has barely put dude, really? Against a defense that people call as coaches to sit come on, man. You let Carson Wentz game-winning drive against your defense that is the only bright spot that you guys have? Give me a break. Then you're going to tell me Stefanski, what, is he going to deflect it on the quarterback?
Yeah,
this was
bad. They should have won.
Yeah, no, this was honestly a pretty awesome game of football. Like, I know that the two quarterbacks were Dylan Gabriel and Carson Wentz, like two quarterbacks no one really cares about or to see, but just as far as the defenses go, the play calling, the use of tight ends and running backs, like a little more untraditional, Kevin O'Connell and Stefanski going at it. I thought that this was an awesome, awesome football game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not a Dylan Gabriel guy, but I was excited to kind of see him just step in instead of the corpse of Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's when you're looking at quarterbacks, there's kind of strikes you can put against them just by looking at them. And two of those are short and being left-handed. I don't think you can be both. I'm not going to enjoy watching you.
He's literally Tua.
Yeah, but he's super short.
It's funny. I said that
Tua's not that tall.
I said he's I said he's a shorter Tua. Is what I mean. I think it is. He is.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair take.
Makes up for his height with a little more brain power.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think for his first game, he played a fine game. I definitely have concerns, as you're saying, Brian, about the ceiling and the potential that Dylan Gabriel really has as an NFL quarterback. Definitely some concern there. But overall, look, he stepped in and he commanded the offense, and I thought he did a fine job.
Did what he had to do to hold off Shador.
Definitely for another game.
Yeah. Called it Judkins 45 times. He's so good.
Judkins is great. Judkins is really good. The offensive line for the Browns seems like that's got to be their identity is smash mouth, run the ball, and play good defense.
Nick Chubb 2.0.
Yeah, and I don't know who they have. Jerry Judy's their star wide receiver. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Tillman's hurt again.
Tillman's hurt.
Isaiah Bond is.
Well, they kind of run.
He's an exciting rookie.
Njoku and Fannin.
Yeah.
They go the double tight ends. I mean, that's smash mouth football, man. Double tight end set.
We got way too much Jerome Ford in this one.
We did. You know, a quarterback would be great running that offense.
Who's that?
Baker Mayfield.
Why do you say that?
No,
didn't click for me. Click for me.
That mentality.
I could see him
being a dog.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him being good. But
I was more just making fun of the Browns for getting rid of Baker.
I like seeing. Yeah, I know you're doing. I like seeing Baker air it out though, and they've got a good.
He might win an MVP.
He looks really good.
He might. The kicker might at this point.
And it ruined. I know that game's way down the list, but it ruined the Sam Darnold Seahawks legacy game.
We both started him in different fantasy football leagues. We both had a very good day because of that.
Yes, dude. Darnold, Lamar Jackson went down. I was forced to start Sam Darnold, and it worked out.
Exact same situation in both leagues.
Lamar goes down. Darnold had the juiciest matchup for what I dropped Cam Ward. I had him on my bench. I was not starting him. Some people would have said, against the Cardinals, maybe Cam Ward. And to be fair, did Cam Ward have a good game? I know they won, but
he ended up with 265, a touchdown, and 2 picks, maybe just 1 pick. So good game.
Probably his best statistical game, but still not that good.
But Sam Darnold's 340 yards, 4 TDs. And it gets overshadowed by Baker Mayfield going out to Seattle and getting a job done in the land of the 12s.
Man, they were dueling. I mean, that was probably my favorite game to watch of the entire day on Sunday. That was just back and forth. These guys could not be stopped, and you're getting great plays from receivers. I saw Cooper Kupp making plays. Like, come on, man, Cooper Kupp in 2025 making plays. That was awesome to see. Look, I know JSN's having a stellar season. I'm still not bought in on him. I'm just going to say that. And then on the other side, Emeka Egbuka, that rookie, man, he's already top 20.
Yeah, everyone.
He's on a Puka arc.
Everyone was loving the Charlotte Hornets announcer on the Panthers game for good reason. That was cool to watch.
He's just loud. That's why people like him.
Yeah, but I mean CBS's decision to put Kevin Harlan on this game with throwback jerseys, back and forth points. That was so much fun to watch.
It was.
That was great.
This game, and then watching Jamar Chase get garbage time touchdowns flying all over the field was pretty fun to watch as well.
You have him in fantasy?
I do.
Okay, I was gonna say that Bengals team was so tough to watch yesterday.
Oh, horrible! It was unwatchable until they started feeding Chase in the second half, and he was like playing pissed off.
Dude, for the sake of my future parlay, they have to trade for Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. The AFC North is there.
It is.
Do it.
The Steelers are leading it.
It's actually
still minus 105 or not like Ravens.
What were the Steelers odds?
I don't know what they were preseason. Right now they're plus
weren't
310.
The Bengals ahead of them?
They're plus 130. The Bengals were like even. Almost even. The Bengals might have been slightly ahead.
Sharps had the Steelers above the Bengals.
Good value on the Steelers still.
But we can stay in that division and talk about Cooper and the Bums getting rushed by the Texans.
Yeah. Look, this is terrible. Well, actually, you know what? Before I go into game analysis, I first like to say, Brian, these confidence picks locking in on Wednesday night, and we don't find out Lamar's officially out until Friday or Saturday. That's a problem.
We knew.
They right after the game on Sunday, they said 2 to 3 weeks when he got injured against the Chiefs. So sure, it wasn't official, so you can fall back on that, Jack.
Hey, look, we all had the Ravens. It's not like I'm the only one that lost out on points here. I'm just saying it's.
Last week I had a rant about people getting mad about Jaylen Warren in London. You really think I'm going to give you Lamar Jackson? That's not going to happen.
I'm not asking for anything. I'm clearly stating. I'm just stating that I'm unhappy with this.
Well,
I took Texans over Ravens.
I honestly forget what I took. I hope I took Texans.
Matt was ahead of the game.
Jack had Ravens.
I definitely had the Ravens.
Brian had Texans over Ravens as well.
Yeah, so I don't know what you were thinking. I mean,
okay, I feel better saying we all took him.
Where did you have the Ravens? You had the Ravens at 11?
Look, Lamar was unconfirmed.
Dude,
Lamar was unconfirmed on Wednesday. When we recorded the show and I had to put those in, it was unconfirmed.
I guess I can't fault you because you're down and you need to take the big swings.
In the same way that Jaden Daniels wasn't confirmed in.
Dude, it was pretty.
But everyone knew he was playing.
It was.
I guess you know all, bro. Anyway, I got a bone to pick with the Ravens team and specifically John Harbaugh. I think that this was a very, very big game for the Ravens in the loss. Like if they had won the game, if they had lost by a couple points, is what it is. I think they got absolutely freaking exposed. And I don't think that this is just the Texans blowing off steam. Yeah, sure, you can do that. But this was the Ravens getting absolutely exposed. They've got injuries, sure. But they're bad. They're bad. They're a bad football team.
Here's I get it, Lamar's not out, and that's huge, but you shouldn't lose 40-6.
They're a bad football team.
Maybe lose 20-6 because Cooper Rush is terrible. But 40-6, that's on the coach not having the team prepared, regardless of who's injured or not. You need to come in a little bit fired up. You can still steal a win. They were at home, right? So try and steal a win at home against the Texans, who I get it. They might have a decent roster and quarterback and whatever. But that's a game you can steal at home with the backup quarterback.
And that's a team that's coming in at 1-3, and their only win is against the league worst Tennessee Titans.
Right. So to not have your team prepared, ready to go. Look, everything has an expiration date on the shelf. Is it time to ask the question about John Harbaugh? Where would we go from there? I don't know. But, I mean, one of the longest tenured NFL head coaches, and it has not looked pretty this year in a season where expectations were very high and still are probably.
Yeah, they were favorites to win the AFC coming in, or I think they're actually favorites to win the Super Bowl. Maybe coming into the year.
They were top 3 or 4 in the odds to win the Super Bowl.
No doubt.
Sure.
And you make a good point. Is the grass going to be greener on the other side? If you get rid of John Harbaugh, what's the next option? Is it going to be better? Maybe, maybe not. But this just goes to show how much that they've just relied on Lamar and his just incredible athletic ability and escapability and off-schedule plays. When they don't have that, they don't have shit.
Yeah. Also, there is light at the end of the tunnel here. Assuming the defense and Lamar gets healthier, they get the Rams this week. It's probably a loss. But after that, they're home against the Bears, in Miami against the Dolphins, in Minnesota, in Cleveland, at home against the Jets, at home against the Bengals. Like, there's very winnable games coming up on the schedule.
With Lamar Jackson out,
he should be back for that Bears game. They get the Rams and then a bye. So that'd be 4 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, they're back in it then. But look, we've talked about Lamar and his struggles in the playoffs and all that. I don't care how good he is, even if he breaks his playoff blunders. Like, this team is trash. They're not doing anything. Start cashing those tickets on the Bills and the Chiefs. It's not the Ravens.
Yeah, other than the Browns game, that they've given up 44, 37, 38, 41 points. They can't do that and win football games.
No,
they absolutely can't. I agree. It's ugly stuff down there in Baltimore. But what are you going to do, man? It's the NFL. Shit happens.
Yeah, nice game for CJ Stroud, though, after he said he felt old and couldn't really move. He had that long touchdown run.
What's he, 23 years old?
Bro, this is straight up Oregon playing like St. Joe's and just having their quarterback toss for 8 touchdowns, make him feel good about himself. He's going to come back down to reality next week.
Maybe. But we can wrap up the AFC South because the Jacks didn't play, but the rest of the AFC South did.
We got an hour. We got an hour till game time.
Yeah, the Colts and the Raiders played. I'm not sure if the arc of the Ravens season was pointing upward finally after they closely lost to the Bears last week. But yeah, Indiana Jones definitely just stole their whole season. I don't think the Raiders are doing anything.
No, the Raiders aren't doing shit. Steve Carroll.
Might as well be Steve Carell coaching that team.
Pete Carroll had no magic left. I mean, the guy's almost 80 years old. Thought maybe he would add a little bit of magic. He's got none. Geno Smith, horrible. Look, the Colts are a lot better than we thought, and they just put a lot of pressure on the Jacksonville Jaguars to get a win on Monday Night Football.
Jags are ready for that pressure.
Put a lot of pressure on them.
Look, Colts are a good football team, man.
They are.
And look, the story of these two teams that we're talking about right here, it's the quarterback play. Geno Smith has been playing some of his worst football, like Jets days football. You're not going to win any football games if your quarterback's playing like that. They also have some injuries. Tough. Brock Bowers is out, but they're not good. And then on the flip side, you've got Indiana Jones playing his best football of his career, and the Colts are one of the best teams in the NFL. So, and it's all about the quarterback play.
Were you aware who the backup is with the Raiders? I found out today.
Is it not still Aiden O'Connell?
AOC is their third string.
Oh.
It's a rookie, right?
Nope.
I have no idea.
They have Kenny Pickett ready to step in and play.
right.
What? The Eagles traded him to the Steelers, and then how did he make his way to Vegas?
The Steelers traded him to the Eagles, and then the Eagles traded him to the Browns.
Yes,
and then the Browns traded him to the Raiders.
Interesting how that all worked out. That's not good. Look, Geno Smith he's been in the NFL a long time. He's made some money. He got a nice contract with the Seahawks. That was kind of the prime for him to either win or go home. He got paid. He's on a retirement tour, man. $75 million. He's living in Vegas. He's still with Pete Carroll. There's not really a lot of expectation for them to win. I thought there would have been a little bit more with Pete Carroll. You give him $75 million, Genty in the first round. Look, he got a 75 mil. If they win, they win. If they don't, they don't. I don't think the pressure's too high. If he gets benched, he doesn't care. He's getting paid one way or the other.
Yeah, no hockey season's coming up. It couldn't come soon enough for everybody involved with the Raiders, so all those fans could just go to the Golden Knights games and forget football season exists.
And the Vegas stadium that looks like a spaceship from Star Wars. It's just a tourist attraction site for Las Vegas. I mean, you go there and it's cool. NFL's in town this weekend. Let's go watch a game. Like that's all it is of when I think of Las Vegas and football out there.
Like it's freaking Lady Gaga.
The circus is coming to town.
Bruno Mars is in town this weekend.
Let's go catch the Raiders are in town. Let's go check it out. Yeah, that's what it feels like. I mean, shit, man. They should
sick.
What? That the Raiders suck?
No, that there's people that treat football like that.
That's what it is, man. I mean, you have such a touristy location like that. I know they have residential neighborhoods all over the place, so I'm sure there are again. I mean, we know there's diehard Raider fans, but they're in Oakland.
Poor Oakland.
Maybe LA too. Did they used to play in LA?
I was gonna say, shout out St. Louis, man.
Yeah, so
those guys.
They got the Battlehawks.
They got the Battlehawks and the Cardinals and the Blues.
You got some team from 1940 you want to bring up, Brian?
They used to have the Browns.
Lord have mercy.
And the Maroons. Best winning percentage in baseball history.
Wasn't there a good
thank you for the history lesson.
What was it? They had the white leagues and the black leagues for baseball. Wasn't there a good baseball team way back in the day in St. Louis?
Ooh.
Is that the Maroons that Brian's
No, the Maroons were before.
I don't think Jackie Robinson played there, but I thought they had a good.
They probably did. Baseball has a big history in St. Louis.
I know.
Don't know the name.
But either way, Vegas certified tourist hotspot for the NFL.
I did it.
How big is the Sphere? You think they could play a game in there?
No. They did UFC, and that was like pushing it.
UFC coming to the White House lawn in 2026. Saw that headline today.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do it around July 4th. They are, but apparently it's in June. So,
well, I guess end of June is kind of.
I think it's beginning of June. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like that July 4th weekend, America's 250th birthday.
Don't want to take away from the World Cup, I guess.
No, which will be in Philadelphia on July 4th for America's 250th birthday. Round of 16 game. Wonder if the U.S. will get it.
I sure hope so, but I don't have a lot of faith.
That could be madness. No, the only other thing, I'm glad you brought up UFC. Conor McGregor confirmed, signed, sealed, delivered. Will fight. It's not still a negotiation. It's confirmed. He's signed. Apparently he's going on some crazy training hiatus. No cameras. I don't think that's set. I want to say maybe Chandler, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay. I think Chandler would fuck him up, but
apparently he's going on a crazy hiatus, and it'll It'll bring the crowds. It'll bring the viewers. I sure
It
as hell
will.
want to watch Conor McGregor fight again. I feel like everybody in America or everybody around the world that even, is half involved will tune into that. And I think it'll be fun. So we'll see what happens. But that's all I got for UFC coming to the White House.
Yeah, do we want to talk Panthers-Jets at all?
You mean Cowboys-Jets?
Cowboys-Jets. I have the shitty teams.
Oh, you have them looped in. Cowboys-Jets, Panthers, Dolphins. No, look, the Panthers, at first I was like maybe the Raiders and the Panthers suck. The Panthers, they're hanging around in that absolute shit NFC North or NFC South.
Rico Dowdle.
Jack, shake your head. They're hanging around.
Dude, they're so bad. They're so bad.
Around.
Whatever, man.
Fine, you know that they're hanging around.
I know they picked up a
they're hanging around.
Big win this weekend. They did. They picked up a big 3-point win. Unexpected.
How many wins do they have? 2 or 3?
2.
2 and 3.
So they're 2 and 3. I mean, that's hanging around. What are the Falcons? 2 and 2 or 1 and 3? I know they had a bye, right?
Yeah, they were on a bye this week.
They're 2 and 2.
They're 2 and 2. Yeah, they're 2 and 2.
They have to. It's
Falcons are 2 and 2.
All but wrapped up by the Bucs, then, huh?
Bucs are 4 and 1.
In the way the NFC wildcard picture is shaking out, I don't know. But Rico Dowdle, I really want to talk about him because he had 200 rush yards, looked electric. Chuba Hubbard has not looked electric. Some other 200-yard rush guys that you wouldn't have think rushed for 200 yards. Isaiah Crowell, Thomas Rawls, everyone remembers the Jonas Gray game. Beanie Wells, Jerome Harrison, and Jay Ajayi did it 3 times.
Jay Ajayi had some nuts rushing games. I remember Jay Ajayi. He had for the Dolphins, though, right? I know he had some good games for the Eagles, but never
that many.
Never that crazy. But yeah,
Ajayi was on a stretch where he had like 2 or 3 in a row.
They were just feeding him.
Like towards the end of that one year. But I think Rico Dowdle may be the starter now in Carolina. He looked better.
I've heard a couple of Panthers fans talking, saying that they want Rico Dowdle starting instead of Chuba, and that was preseason. I think after what we just saw this weekend, that's going to be the case. They must really like Chuba, and he must do something really well for them because I don't see it. I don't see it as a runner.
No.
Yeah, I didn't catch much of that game for obvious reasons, but Rico Dowdle, looked electric, 200 yards, not what you expect. Can you make the switch already? Didn't they give Hubbard a contract? Do they do I love when teams do this where it's like the guy's injured, but he's actually healthy, but they say he's still injured just to keep him out so it doesn't create or ruffle feathers. And I don't know.
I could see it. I don't know.
That's what they did with Aaron Nola and the Phillies all year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Panthers are the Panthers. They might be sneaky, but they're the Panthers. They need to keep the Hornets announcer on every single game they do.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of that guy. Makes it a little bit more electric.
He doesn't really say anything too intriguing, but he just says everything so emphatically that it makes for good TV. Also, Darren Waller, I told Evan Ingram to suck my third leg. He can suck my third leg too. Why is he just starts to be good now?
He's fucking electric. Retired from the Giants, which can you blame him? And then came back, and now he looks really good, Brian. He is. Does he lead the NFL in receiving touchdowns for tight ends?
He has 3 now?
3 in 2 weeks.
Jake Ferguson might. Jake Ferguson has a lot of yards. I don't know. Tyler Warren has a couple. Also, the Bears are hilarious by
Tyler Warren has
drafting Tyler Warren. He was right there.
He was right there. And he could have been so good on that Bears offense. He could have been so good. I like the fit with Warren on the Colts, though.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's good. Much better for him.
Yeah.
Harris would have ruined him somehow.
I like the fit a lot. I really do. So
Yeah, he's been great.
I mean, really the only game we haven't touched on so far is the Commanders. Jaden Daniels back. My MVP. Big win on the road against the Chargers might actually just not be that good.
They're not.
They lost to Murray and Hampton too on IR. Could finally be Kamani Vidal season after he was hyped up last year in fantasy drafts. I think the Commanders, though, are still a good team with Jaden Daniels healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this was really just a battle of the trenches for me. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You got Justin Herbert up against Jaden Daniels, and we're talking about offensive and defensive linemen. But with the injuries that the Chargers have suffered to that offensive line, they're in a tough spot. And Hampton's looked great. I know he just got hurt. That's going to be tough. They're missing him the next 4 weeks, but he's looked great. Quentin Johnson took that step up. Justin Herbert's looked awesome. But, I mean, you need an offensive line to do anything. We've been talking about that, and he didn't have time. That Commanders defense was they were up in his mitt the second he snapped the ball every play.
It's hard to control the defensive line when Joe Alt gets deleted from your offensive line.
Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt deleted.
Couldn't get it done. Sucks.
I mean, I think both these teams are playoff teams, but I know they're in different conferences, but this felt like a Saturday late afternoon wild card matchup.
What game? The Commanders game?
I wouldn't go that far.
I think they're both teams that'll make the playoffs, but they need everything to go right if they're going to make a run.
I was shocked that the Chargers lost, to be honest with you. I thought this was a game at home. They get right. You know, Daniels coming back. McLaurin didn't even travel with the team, I don't think. They had their own.
He might go on IR. I don't know what's
up injury issues. So
it's a hamstring, man. Those things are so tough.
Look, and winning the games when the team's out, those are very valuable to be able to pull those out on the road as well. It's a big win, especially with the Eagles losing, for the Commanders to try and say they have a slither of hope still at the NFC the NFC East.
Yeah, also Lad McConkey had one of the coolest plays that won't count of all time in this one when they roughed the punter. And he had that. I think he hurdled a guy. He had like 3 spin moves, a broken tackle, and he scored the punt return touchdown.
I've been seeing that a lot this year. Not the insane return, but a lot of plays that are just insane that don't count. Whether it's like the guy didn't get the 2 feet down, or there was an illegal formation or illegal shift before the play, a false start, whatever it might be. I feel like that's happened so many times where there's just insane plays happening that people won't ever remember because they're not going to count.
Yeah, I think there was a play. It might have not been the Eagles game. I'm trying to think what game it was where they had an illegal shift and the receiver started running like he was in the CFL before the snap, and then he caught like a 70-yard pass and it got called back. It's like, I don't understand how that stuff happened, especially with illegal formations when you forget to cover up your tackle and you have to check with the ref to make sure you're on the line of scrimmage before. I don't get it.
Well, apparently it's a new thing this year where the refs aren't telling you if you're on the line. Yeah, if they won't confirm with you whether you're on the line or behind or not. It's like they have their foot down and the players are supposed to look at that foot and do it themselves. Make sure that they are there. And if they're not, they're just getting flagged. There's no pointing to the sideline or pointing down or any of that. I mean, they still do it, but it doesn't mean anything to the refs anymore.
Huh. I wonder how the vision insurance is in the NFL. Because there might be a lot of new contact lens orders with that.
Maybe.
Last game, we had the Bills blow it on Sunday Night Football. I hated the whole snow melts in May thing because the Bills wore the snow uniforms, they called them.
I like the jerseys. It's just you didn't need to bring them out the first week of October. Bring it out in December.
The correct tagline would have been "May evaporates snow," something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
the sentence structure is bad.
Brian, the copywriter over here. I love those jerseys. I thought that they were sick, but
cool
I didn't really think
jerseys. Wrong time to bring them out.
I was gonna say I didn't really think about that. Wrong time to bring them out. Yeah, like those are December jerseys, man.
Those are icy.
It's gotta be
snow on the ground.
Those are icy. Bring it out. It's 80 degrees out.
Yeah, no, but look. Shout out the Patriots. Shout out Vrabel, dude. Shout out Vrabel. He's got that team playing right. Drake May looked really good. I mean, he's still learning and getting better and progressing. And I definitely don't think that we've seen his ceiling yet. So I think that Patriots fans have a lot to look forward to. When are they going to get rid of Ramondre Stevenson? Like,
I hate him. So I lost the fantasy game because they just let him fall in the end zone twice.
Well, dude, I like the fumbles. Like, there's a couple guys in this league that are fumble machines, and it seems like their coaches aren't doing shit about it.
The Patriots have two of them, and they have a rookie that they drafted high that they won't play because they play the two fumble machines, Gibson and Stevenson. It's stupid. A guy that didn't fumble the football, though, that Bills fan that caught the Josh Allen pass and then sprinted out of the stadium.
What a dog.
I saw people on socials clowning him, and they're like, why would you give up those seats? And I'm like, no, you keep the football and hang it on your mantle for the next 50 years.
I just caught a pass from Josh Allen. I'm never getting – no one – you can't pay me – this is my ball forever. Like, I put myself in his shoes. If I'm at a Jags game and Trevor Lawrence throws me a football in the back of the end zone, you're never going to see me without that thing. I'm going to be like that kid, that 12-year-old kid that always has a basketball he's dribbling with him. I'm going to be that 30-year-old dude that always has a football in his hand.
Just high and tight.
I won't think high and tight.
Ball
security, job security.
Does the Trevor Lawrence ball hold the same weight as the Josh Allen ball?
Like, to me? I mean, the Trevor one would hold more weight.
Monetarily, no. Nostalgically, for Jack, yes.
That's a nice way to put it.
But that's actually funny you say it like that, because I was saying I was thinking about going to the Jags game tonight in Jacksonville, and if I went to that game and either of those quarterbacks threw me that football, I'd probably take it and run.
Yeah. The Mahomes one you're putting right on the market.
Mahomes or Lawrence, yeah, that's mine.
Why? How far is that drive for you, Jack?
Only 4 hours. I had a ticket too.
You have to do you just drive down and drive back after the game, or how does
my parents live down there now?
So you got a nice spot to live.
Yeah. They moved out of Jersey about 2 years ago. They're living in Jacksonville Beach area, and it's about 4 hours to them. They're about 40 minutes from the stadium. It's slight work.
Yeah, it works out well. Do you get a score prediction before the game here?
Yeah. Wait, we're not starting, are we? No.
Well, I mean, we're in pregame.
Yeah. Well,
we already know what happened, so the timing doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So Matt, incorrect. I'm gonna hope it's incorrect, but you were predicting that the final scores would be 99-0. I'm gonna hope that's not.
Did follow it up with JK, but
he did hit his bet though. So the people that saw his bet and took it, they got to win.
For the purpose of the bit. Yes,
yeah.
That was my initial prediction.
I'm going to go 31-28 Jaguars.
Thought you were going to go Chiefs there and just say the Jaguars cover.
31-28 Jaguars.
What is it, 3.5?
Yep.
Yeah.
Home dogs.
Home dogs, man. Home dogs. 3.5 points.
I will say 22-19 Chiefs. Sorry, Jack. But I think the Chiefs roll here now that a lot of the AFC teams took L's this week.
I think they're going to feel a little motivated, a little inspired.
Yeah, Bills go down. Ravens look like shit. This is a big spot, AFC game. There's a big spot for Patty Mahomes. They win this game, and they're just right back in the thick of things.
Yeah. I mean, they got to deal with the Broncos. I guess the Chargers are kind of frauding now, but
they're
going to
win.
I said the Broncos to win the AFC West, and Brian clowned me for it.
I didn't clown you for it. I just said I wouldn't bet against the Chiefs.
You said you're never betting against Patrick Mahomes. This is what you said.
Yeah, until they lose. And they may never lose.
And I said get out in front of the curve.
I was willing to get out in front of the curve on Theo Johnson. I'm not willing to get out ahead of the curve on the Patrick Mahomes downfall.
That's fair. Well, I can see why one would be hesitant.
If the Chiefs can muster a win tonight down in Duval, they'll be sitting tied with the Chargers and the Broncos, all at 3-2, three-way tie for the lead in that AFC West. And if the Jags win tonight,
it's a fun division.
Jags Colts, both 4-1.
There's a lot of pressure on Jacksonville to get a win to keep pace.
Who would have thought when we started this podcast, Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence would be battling it out for an AFC South division title?
Not a lot of people had that.
I'd like to think that we did this.
I think we did.
We helped talk it into existence. I guess you two helped. I was the gasoline on the fire to keep the conversation going, but you two were the ones who carried it.
How awesome would it be?
I just tried to bring it up as much as possible.
How awesome would it be if the Jags and the Colts were both still like really good when they meet up week 14 for their first matchup?
I am fully prepared for that to happen.
That's wild that it takes that long for that matchup to happen.
Yeah, we've got them week 14 and 17. Excuse me, 13. 14 and 17.
Could decide
could be for the division.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 games that could decide the division right at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But, Jags had a nice road win last week against the Niners, and then the Niners followed up with a win on the road. So that win looks a little bit better, sure. But, Jack, you said both teams are really good. Can we call both teams really good yet? Because I'm not going there with the Colts yet either. Who have the Colts played other than they beat the Broncos in a high-scoring game at home where the Broncos didn't even look that good? Like, the Colts have looked good, yes, but really good. Like, I have doubts with them on making a Super Bowl run and even winning the Super Bowl. Like, I think they're a fun team.
They're blowing out the bad teams, though. I think it's safe to say they're really good.
They blew out the Dolphins in week 1.
Really good to me is like you're an elite team.
Well, then you'd be elite. They're all right. They're good teams.
Doesn't feel right to call, and they might be, but I just can't get there yet.
I'm not totally there either. I remember saying after their week 1 or week 2 wins, it's like the Cardinals a few years ago when they had Cliff Kingsbury starting 6-0, and you just knew the collapse was coming.
Do you really buy it though? That's how I feel. It's like it's fun right now. I'm not looking ahead. I'm taking it week by week. But
yeah, week 14's a long way away. I did say, if we are both still really good, really good.
These are both 3 games under 500 by the time they get to that game.
It's totally possible.
The AFC South, it could be for the division.
I laugh because you're not wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all.
But yeah, shout out the Jags and Colts. I mean,
it's fun. Look, it's a fun playoff. It's a fun divisional battle.
But let's
early in the year.
Let's wrap up here with a little Views Fantasy League update. Matt beat me this week, and he didn't start a running back because he had Chuba Hubbard in. So I didn't
make that switch.
No.
I thought I did. Dude, the sleeper app's so bad.
You don't have another running back on your team.
That's probably why I didn't auto sub anybody.
And you still lost, Brian?
Yeah,
Brian scored 70 points.
I'm gonna score like 100. I
didn't start a running back.
Harrison
Laporta went off. Cup had enough. I mean, my team didn't do anything like out of the ordinary spectacular.
No, my team just did not have a good week.
Well,
Brian's
I've got
team's
some
on-
general updates for those following along. There are no more unbeaten teams.
That's what we like. We like parity.
We like parity. We like people going at it any given Sunday. Well, excuse me, any given Thursday, Sunday, Monday. But we do have one winless team. And surprisingly enough, it's the defending champion, Ben.
Championship hangover.
Super Bowl hangover is real.
Everybody in the league's giving him their best week, giving him a championship fight week in and week out. He's not able to stay afloat right now.
Ben, gonna have to figure it out. We're getting to the point now where it's like you really needed to win this week if you didn't have one.
Oh, dude, an 0-5 start is, I mean, that's call
You
your
can
mom.
come back from 0-5, but it's really hard.
No, call your
It's
mom. Tell her to come pick you up.
0-5
You're
is-
done for the day.
Where is the point of no return in fantasy football?
I think it's
Gotta be
0-6.
5.
0-6.
You can go what it would be 7-8 now.
You can yeah.
If
Wait,
you go
is there an
0-6
extra game?
If you go 0-6, you can come back to
No, it's 14. 14 regular season games?
I think you can go 7-7. Yeah, you can go 7-7. 8-6. 8 wins, I think, is usually that magic number.
Yeah.
To get in.
So
in.
0-6, you're kind of cooked.
Yeah.
Because you can only really lose one more, and then you'd have to get your points for 0-5. You can make it.
0-5, there's hope. 0-6, you're pretty much because 8-6 is like usually I think 90% or more. Like you're at 7-7, there's a chance, but that's where it turns into a points for battle.
Yeah.
And it still might not even be enough if there's too many 8-6 teams.
So
But
Ben,
8
you still have hope.
8 is the magic number for fantasy. So the people who give up after week 4 because they start out 0-4, you're all jackasses and you ruin leagues.
and we're sending you to the Badlands.
Yes.
Great show, everybody.
All right, we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Less than a month away from college basketball.
Oh,
I was like, well, yes, Thursday is less than a month away.
less than a week away.
No, I was just saying, it's less than a month.